show their fight in this cup final. It's the chance to give the underdogs real breathing room. He's dispatched it clinically. The coolest of heads out there. Gary Deegan and Ryan Brennan raise the cup aloft. What a day for Drogheda United. For the second time in their history, and the first time in 19 years, they are the FAI Cup winners.
And with that, Drogheda qualified for the Europa Conference League. For a club to be successful within the League of Ireland, qualification for European football is a must. By winning the cup, Drogheda would enter the second round of qualification for the Conference League and would net between 525,000 and 3.17 million euros. Qualifying for European competition also has an element of prestige attached to it. If you're trying to get a new signing in the door, it's so much easier to pitch to them that the club will be playing AEK Athens in the third qualifying round of the Conference League compared to, you know yourself, we'll be playing Crumlin United in the second round of the cup. So with camper vans leased and credit union loans acquired, Drogheda fans are ready for their European odyssey. However, UEFA had other plans. You see, the devil is in the detail with this one. Drogheda is owned by Trevella Sports Group, which is a multi-club football organisation creating opportunity and positive change by developing players, clubs and the passionate communities who support them. The group also owns Walsall and Silkeborg IF in Denmark. This is an ownership model called multi-club ownership. This term has been thrown around a lot lately, but what does it actually mean? The crux of it is that a parent company owns various football clubs and they are inextricably linked. Look at this chart here of the clubs owned by Red Bull GmbH. They own RB Leipzig, RB Salzburg, New York Red Bulls, SC Liefering, a team in Japan and a team in Brazil which I'm nowhere near brave enough to try and pronounce, as well as being minority stakeholders in Leeds and Paris FC. Now, what's the issue with this? We see it all the time with products like Coca-Cola. Now, in football, I believe this completely ruins the concept of competitive balance. The smaller club becomes a feeder club to the mainstay of the empire. Look at Benjamin Šeško's career. He starts at RB Salzburg, is loaned to FC Liefering and signs to RB Leipzig. How the fuck does that work? He's being passed around like Bonnie Blue, for God's sake. Now, the financial stability of the model is another issue. If the mothership goes down, all the clubs in its orbit will also go down. Now, if you look at Athlone Town, this is a prime example of this. Their former owners, Vallejo, isn't inherently a multi-club ownership organisation, but it is a football business with camps in the States and around the Caribbean trying to get players into Europe to play a higher level of football. Over the past few weeks, reports have been coming out of the Midlands that players had been paid due to financial issues, and that's why we've seen the likes of Declan McDade, Kyle O'Connor and J.R. Wilson leave the club. Now, we're beginning to see this creep into the League of Ireland more and more. Waterford are owned by the Piley family, who also own Fleetwood Town. That's why Tommy Lonergan was bought by Fleetwood from Pats and then shipped straight back to Waterford on loan. It just feels wrong. It's a way to cheat the system. Now, to combat multi-club ownership, UEFA have implemented rules to prevent clubs who have this model of ownership taking part in their competitions. According to official regulations, no person or organisation may control or influence more than one club in UEFA competitions. Now, unfortunately for Drogheda, Silkeborg also qualified for the Conference League, meaning one of them has to go out of the competition. This was based on who had a higher position in their respective league. Drogheda finished 9th and Silkeborg finished 7th. Drogheda then tried to appeal this in the Court of Arbitration for Sport, but no dice. But can anyone in the League of Ireland take their place? Now, Derry theoretically could have taken Drogheda's place, but didn't apply for a UEFA licence in time. Like, talk about not having your head fucking screwed on. This was flagged months ago by John Fallon in The Examiner. How did they not see this coming over the hill? And ultimately, that's it. There will be no European football for Drogheda this season. However, how strict are UEFA willing to implement this rule? Now, based on a quick Wikipedia search, it looks like no team with the same parent company are in the same competition, but please feel free to correct me on that one. But this has happened before. Girona and Manchester City won the Champions League not too long ago, but were they kicked out of the competition? Nope. As long as these clubs remain separated enough, they were allowed to compete. But how come Drogheda and Silkeborg can't do the same? My bet is that it's down to these clubs having the manpower to facilitate these very small divides, and with UEFA, it always comes down to the fact that who has more money and political clout to play the game. Now, I'd say City's owners have the reputation to walk into UEFA's office and fight these cases head on. I don't think Trevella Sports Group could easily get past a receptionist, if I'm being brutally honest. UEFA would also lose stupid amounts of money in TV rights and branding if they were to kick out some of the biggest clubs in Europe. It really is hypocrisy at its finest, but it is a cautionary tale that you can't have your cake and eat it in Irish football. And just a postscript note here, I just saw on Twitter about an hour ago that the FAI forgot to mention this to either Derry or Drogheda. How can the governing body of football in Ireland, who have so many ties with UEFA, completely forget to mention this? I give up.